Welcome back to another scrapbook creation. This is for the Sketches in Time design team, and this is a sketch that my team is supposed to follow. Now, when you look at a sketch, you don't have to follow, but sometimes you get an idea. And when I first saw those strips of paper and banner, I'm like, ooh, I already know what I'm going to do. Christmas is coming. I am going to use my silhouette. I'm going to cut out a tree, and I'm going to take all these scraps of paper that you see that have been on my workspace, because I'm working on my last year's December daily, and I'm going to take those and I'm going to fill up the back of the tree. But before I do that, I did want to do some stitching, so I am going to stitch all around it. Now this video is going to be choppy, and that is because the very first idea that I had failed, and I'm going to come up with two more ideas that fail also. So when that didn't work, I then didn't want to waste the strips of paper that I used with my, that were the branding strips and scraps that I used with my Freckle Fawn die cut. Or die, I should say. And I thought, why don't I build the tree? So you saw me just a few seconds ago trying to build a tree, and when that didn't work, I thought, well, let me just try to follow the sketch. That didn't work either. So then I took the actual Christmas tree from the silhouette that I originally cut, and I backed it up with little strips of paper. Now I love the way it came out. However, and I'm sorry I didn't show it to you, I thought I did in the camera, but I think at that point, because all day long on Saturday I was working on this, and at this point now it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and after several failed attempts, I decided to just go with the sketch and follow it to a T. But that tree that I did use, that I backed up all my scraps, the reason why it didn't work out, it was just too big for the picture that I was going to use. I think next time I want to scale it down. However, I'm going to make sure it doesn't go to waste. So even though I tried all these different attempts and trying to take something from a sketch and try to turn it into something else, even though it failed, it doesn't mean that I can't do it again and it won't fail the next time. You know, I probably could succeed. There's many different reasons I know why it didn't work, but that's okay. So after that, at this point, I need to get this page done. It is due today. So I used my Canon Selfie to print out these photos, and I'm not a huge Canon Selfie fan. I use it for my December daily, and I do use it when I'm in a crunch to get my pictures printed. It's not the best quality. I think anyone who owns a Canon Selfie knows that, but it does get the job done, like I said, when you're in a crunch. So these photos are of my one child, where we took her to the pumpkin patch. My one son was with his friends to go to the movies, and we had yet to take the kids to the pumpkin patch. So while my son was at the movies with his friends, we took our daughter and we tried a different pumpkin patch. It was a lot smaller, but she had a blast anyways. We did the typical, you know, go on a hayride, went through the corn maze, and just got some family photos at the same time. Now I'm going to try a whole bunch of different things from this sticker sheet and the chipboard, because these are the only embellishments that I have to go with this collection. I tried searching for different things in my room and I just couldn't find anything. And when I get to a point where I feel that I'm forcing something on a layout and I know it just doesn't go, I don't do it. As much as I want to have a ton of layers, sometimes things just don't go, and especially if I don't have a certain shape or certain product. And that's okay. As long as I'm using up my stash, that's all that really matters in the end. So while I keep trying these stickers over and over again, I end up going to, or deciding to use that one sticker that said fall, and I think I'm going to do that here in a second. Let me see what I do. Guess I could have cut this part out. No, I'm actually not. Okay, I'll get back to it. But I am going to use these deluxe cuts. So I'm showing you, I'm like, look, deluxe cuts. Anybody remember them? Anybody still have them in their stash? Well, I have every single one that I purchased because I'm just not going to throw them out. They are die cuts and I will find a way to use them. And I love the color of wheat. I love the look of wheat. I've gone to my friends' homes where they have them on their mantle, and it is just it's beautiful. So I definitely wanted to use these with this layout. Now there is no wheat in the photos, but that's okay. It reminds me of fall. It reminds me of harvest, a farm. They're gorgeous. So I'm going to place them like so. I wanted them to be in a shape of a wreath, but the stems go straight, so they don't really curve to give me that circle shape. I don't have enough to create a circle, and I mean, that's okay. So I'm going to position them something like this and behind those banners, and that way it kind of goes with the bottom portion of that sketch. Even though I am kind of tweaking it to make it my own, that's okay. That sketches is just kind of a jumping off point to get you started. Now, one thing I did not do with any of these photos, and that is matte paper behind it. I have the typical white frame going around the photos, but that's it. And the reason why is that pattern paper is gorgeous. Always my main focus is to be the photos and the story. However, I sometimes don't want to trim the paper down to where you can't see it. And like I said, those papers I wanted to show. So after I get done using my Xyron, now there is some sticky residue, and you will see that on the photo. In the close-ups at the end, I don't have the eraser that I guess removes that. I tried rubbing my finger around it, but it still wouldn't come off, so I'm assuming eventually it probably will. But it was the only way that I knew that I could get it to stick. I mean, I guess I could have used my fine line bottle, but there was these little tiny holes in the wheat that I just didn't want it to come up. So here I am just putting down the banners, and I really like the position of the wheat, and here's why. I didn't mat the photos, but I like how you can see the wheat above the photo, so it's kind of almost like framing it. And then yet the stems are also below. So I really like that, and I'm going to place the photo down. And then I think I start focusing on the title. And the title, like I said, there on the sticker sheet, it had the word fall. And I was like, okay, I'm going to use that as part of my title. It's going to be a very generic title. It's just going to say fall fun using the stickers from the sticker sheet. I try one more time. I try so hard. I'm like, well, let me just try to see if this banner works. And I can't remember the reason why I didn't like it there. And then I try to move it over here, but then it kind of covered up the banner, and I was like, oh, this is going to drive me crazy. I'm just going to put it down and move on to that title, because I already know what I want to do for the title and where I want to place it, and that is right next to the top part of those two photos. Now the F is going to be hanging off over the photo, and to kind of not make it look like it's just floating in the air, I'm going to add the word fun underneath it, and that kind of creates like a ledge. Next I go back to the chipboard pieces, and I see this one that is a home. And anytime I see family photos and I think of harvest and fall, I think it's because it is around the time of the holidays. I just think of family and warmth, which all reflects in love, and that all reflects around an image of a home. Next I have this one that is a circle, and just for the shape of it, which is why I chose that one. It has a squirrel. Now, is there a squirrel in the picture? No, but that's okay. And that pretty much is going to wrap it up. I'm just going to go ahead and take off this branding strip. I'm going to add some Heidi Swap Shine, and I'm going to call this layout good. I hope you enjoyed this layout, even though it was a little choppy in the beginning, but I did want you to see all the different ideas that I had when something didn't work out. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me. You all have an amazing time with your family and loved ones during Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.